This is RNR.
I'm joined on RNR today with author and broadcaster Danny Wallace. So how you doing, Danny?
I'm alright, thank you, John. Very well.
Fantastic. It's great to meet you. Obviously you'll be very, very busy. You've just had interviews with the BBC, with Fred Macaulay.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got to test my handshake.
There you go, good handshake.
Fantastic. Okay, so obviously you're in Glasgow today to promote your new book, which is your first novel, Charlotte Street.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit more about the story behind it.
It's about a moment between a boy and a girl, or at least that's what the boy thinks. He hopes there was a moment there. He sees a girl on a street in London called Charlotte Street, and just for a second he just thinks she's great, and he doesn't know what to do. But she's holding some bags and trying to get into a cab, and so he says, "Can I help you?" And she says, "Yes." And so he helps her, and she smiles at him, and there's that moment again, and then she's gone, and he thinks that's it, it's over. Then he looks down and he sees that in his hands he's still got a disposable camera, and it's hers. And what does he do with it? So does he throw it away, or does he develop the film? So he develops the film, and he sees something a little bit odd about one of the photos in particular.
I've already read the first couple of chapters.
Mm-hmm.
They are extremely engrossing.
Oh,
a
good.
lot of your work tends to be anyway.
Good.
But, of course. But the novel is everything it's meant to be. I can understand why they want to make it into a movie.
Well, that's very kind of you to say. It was a very different process of writing, and very different for me. But I enjoyed it, and I got to know the characters as we went. I didn't know who they were at first, because how could I? They didn't exist. But the longer you spend with them, the more you get to know them. And then one day it was like they were alive, So it was good.
I was going to say, I would imagine you get into their little foibles.
Yeah, it's great just finding little quirks that might just be a tiny thing, but really defines who they are.
Absolutely. Now, obviously, there'll be many people that know you, but for many different reasons. Your award-winning Ex-Sit-In Breakfast Show, absolutely award-winning.
Yes.
Obviously, your book and subsequent movie, Yes Man.
Yep.
You're Sean Hastings in Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed, yes, absolutely.
Fantastic. And of course, you're the all-round King of Lovely.
I'm the king, I'm the king of lovely.
And part of your
You're a citizen,
population.
Yeah.
Yes, I am a citizen.
Good.
Been a joinee for many, many years. So, what has been your most rewarding exploit to date?
In terms of work, the work that's come out there, I would say, Join Me is always going to be extraordinarily special for me, because it's, the book is there, and the book documents, a year or so, but really, the stories that happened after, are just as great. And there are marriages now, there are babies running around at all these sort of Carmageddons. Well, you're looking nervous, isn't it?
It's just there's one bar in the back tree thing.
Oh, don't worry, we'll sort it out,
Obviously there's a lot of Carmageddons. Just to say, Join Me is a cult, collective. Started by Danny, and it was to do with your grandfather in Switzerland?
It was to do with my great uncle, and he owned some land, and it was kind of a family legend about him wanting a load of people to live on this land, and he wanted like 100 people, and they would all help each other and work together. It's sort of like a little utopian thing, and only about 3 people wanted to get involved, so we dropped the idea. I was just wondering what it is that makes people join something, and I put an advert in the paper just saying "Join Me," to see whether people would join something without knowing who they were joining, or what they were joining, or why they were joining. And the answer, it turns out, is yes, very much so.
Yes. And of course, when you were young, you spent a year in Germany.
Yeah.
Of which you pretty much, you were followed by the KGB.
Yeah, absolutely. My dad's an academic, and it was around the time the wall had just fallen, but Germany wasn't reunited yet. And there's a history in my family of the Stasi, the KGB, all these kind of practitioners of sometimes quite bumbling spydom, spying on my family. And I'm looking forward actually to going to Germany with my dad to open up his Stasi files, so the secret police kept files on everyone and then shredded them. But there are women whose job it is now, and it is largely women, just sitting in a big kind of factory, sellotaping them all back together.
Yes, I'll look forward to that bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, now you've publicly said that you're no longer doing any of your madcap missions anymore.
Have I?
Now that you've got a young son.
Yeah, well, never say never, but there's no plans. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say it is a shame because I can recommend to you a restaurant in Belgium for your dinner.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, well, just in case.
That sounds more like a dinner reservation than a book, but yeah.
I suppose that would seem a bit weird. Okay, now how difficult is it having to get up very early in the morning for your award-winning radio show with a young son in the house?
Yeah, I'm exhausted. My voice used to be about 3 octaves higher, but it's now just like this the whole time. It's tiring. It's worse in the winter, getting up sort of between 4:30 and 5 when it's just pitch black. But now it's summer, or summer is approaching. It's easier, and you feel much more part of a community with the listeners, which is great.
Now, when you tried to start your own country, you tried to enter Eurovision.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think about our entry this year to Azerbaijan?
I haven't heard much of it, but I enjoy the name Engelbert Humperdinck very much.
Yes,
I always
yes,
have.
yes.
My infant son shouts the name now a lot.
Nice.
It's one of his favourite words or names to shout. And wouldn't it be a great story if Engelbert won it for us?
That would be amazing. I've heard the song a few times. You spend the whole time waiting for it to really kick in.
Oh, the key change. Everyone's talking about the key change. I haven't heard it that much.
It just doesn't. It's not got that move to it that you would expect.
That's a shame.
Yeah, you should still re-enter it.
I think you're right. I think a lot of people are. There's a real buzz on the streets.
Absolutely.
Oh, sorry.
Coincidentally, the Glasgow City Council asked you for your slogan yet to stop the mugging and start the hugging.
No, but their smile's better, or used to be at least. So they'd be welcome to it.
Right. And what advice would you give students at Redcar College about their futures?
Well, I think the only way to do it is to do it. I've always gone where the fun is, and tried to do things that I enjoy, because then that will really have an effect on your work. And then if you can do the fun well, you'll get asked to have more fun later. But be prepared to make a lot of tea, because I made a lot of tea at the start of my career, and everyone. Don't even ask them if they want tea. Just bring them tea,
Nice.
and pretty soon you'll be the person that's asked back and promoted.
This has been a production of R&R Radio.